is episode number 117. This week we covered Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
The Myrtleverse.
Mumbleverse of Mumbleness.
Mumbleness.
As always, I'm your host, David.
I'm Stuart.
And I'm excited for my Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Oh, man.
Oh boy.
God damn it, AMC. Why couldn't you just go one more day?
Oh, you want to challenge the call? All right, refs, come on. Let's get the replay center going.
They're going straight to Secaucus. They're taking a look at the replay, and
they're
it's not even close.
I mean, okay, come on. It was a little close.
Okay, let's look at the other angle.
Yeah.
There's a windup.
Yeah.
And you just pretty much just punched me in the face.
I think they just upgraded this to a new category, Flagrant 3, because it was so. I'm just kidding. But
Flagrant 2.
You were still able to get tickets up until what?
I
Tuesday?
could get tickets. They just weren't at the theater near me anymore.
Well, I mean, every theater's technically down the street, right?
If I were Ben, it would have worked because it's the closest AMC that played it was in Lake Forest.
Well, you're not Ben,
Yeah.
because Ben's getting a Popeyes chicken sandwich.
That's a small price to pay to not be Ben.
That's true. That he will only be able to enjoy that chicken sandwich for about 45 seconds, and then he goes back to being Ben again.
I'll take it.
All right. Okay. Well, you guys are gonna have to text me your. Not that I don't have your addresses already. You need to text me what the specific delivery instructions anyone might need to follow in order to acquire said sandwich.
Woo!
I would like them to play "Hail the Chief" as they're dropping off.
Can they even deliver to your place? Aren't you in like a gate? And
I'll give you the instructions. The gate code hasn't been changed in a decade, so everybody knows it in this area, which is not.
It's good and bad.
Yeah, it's good because I don't ever have to tell anybody anything, but it's bad that anybody can get in here. Pretty much. I think they had a sticker on the actual gate at one point, not the gate, like the keypad. They had the code there at some point just because they were like, we were tired of Amazon drivers not being able to know how to get in here. I was like, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of the gate?
Nice.
Well, I mean, in modern society, when you have so many things that can be delivered to you, you need to have some way for them to get in.
Amazon Prime it to me right now.
They could just leave it outside your community and just leave it on the sidewalk.
There'd be so many. They actually, since I live in one of the townhouses, they drop it off right in front. But the ones that live in the condominiums, they have like this general area where there's all the mail and stuff like that. The Amazon drivers have been just known to just like drop the entire like crate of stuff and just leave it there and then just walk off. Wow. I was like, that's close enough.
What a lawless West wildland you live in. Who's the sheriff, dude?
Clearly not me, because I saw that and I walked right by and said, "Oh, sucks for that person." Whatever.
I remember my old apartment. They used to sometimes just toss the package into our patio.
What? Nice. At least that makes sense. But how do they know if that was your patio or not your neighbor's patio?
I guess they just roll the dice.
And it's 777 all the time.
Wait, that's a slot machine.
Oh, I mean, all on red.
All right, we're gonna move forward. So
Royal Flush.
I actually kind of want to see how many more gambling references do you have, Ben?
It's a bingo.
You can't say that's not a gambling thing.
That's true. If they're living in a retirement community, they're probably gambling by playing.
If you ever go to Vegas and end up playing bingo and win, make sure you say that.
It's the bingo.
That kind of reminds me of Stu, did you ever watch Vegas Vacation?
Of course.
Chevy Chase?
Of course.
Where they went to that weird casino where they played war.
Yeah. He's playing like war. Yeah. Playing like war and Go Fish.
Yeah. I imagine that's where Ben would spend most of his time going, it's a bingo. And it's like, sir, that's the wrong game. That's in the hall. Down the
street. Okay. Touchdown. Flagrant 1. all my other gambling terms.
He's really running out of steam, so I'm gonna save you here. Stu, anything else outside of our movie of the week this week
that I have seen?
That you have, son.
That I've seen with my own 2 eyes. No. This is my.
I'm assuming you haven't started Winning Time yet either.
I have not. There's a lot of things I haven't started that I need to start.
Season finale was yesterday, so that was pretty exciting. We also finally got to wrap up Moon Knight. Ben, did you finish that?
I did, yes.
Thoughts?
It was a lot better than most of the other Marvel shows, but yeah, it was okay. You know, nothing mind blowing. I really liked Oscar Isaac.
I mean,
but
how can you not?
Yeah, I mean, and there's 2 of them, so it's just like, woo.
You're just banning yourself right now. Just
no, we literally get 2 Oscar Isaacs on screen at any given time. You know,
that's
it's just
true.
like, woo.
Oscar Isaac is Oscar Isaac in Moon Knight.
Yeah, and they're just holding each other the whole time. So just like, oh man, you know, just shovel it into my mouth.
Ben was flogging himself just to be able to stay focused on actually finishing the show.
Yeah,
pausing every 2 seconds.
The finale was definitely super duper rushed, but I feel like that's kind of the MO for a lot of the Marvel shows right now.
Why did they feel like they had to finish this right before? It didn't have any tie-ins with Multiverse, so why did they shorten this one? I think it was only 6 episodes?
I don't know, but I'm guessing it's just a general rule of thumb not to have any of the content overlapping with each other. Like Spider-Man, No Way Home.
I guess we
actually I gotta look this up now. Hold on.
I mean, we did kind of gloss over it for anyone who wasn't paying attention, but I lost my bet about Spider-Man No Way Home being able to purchase tickets at my local theater.
Stu, you could unless you were still living in Foothill Ranch, California. The Regal Foothill Town Center has 1 showing tomorrow at 12:40.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, that wasn't the bet. So I'm a man of honor. I'm a man of my word.
And I'm a man of chicken.
I'm a man of principle.
You'll both be receiving a spicy chicken sandwich.
Whoa, wait a minute. Hold on, Pump the brakes.
Ben, why did you have to mention that it had to be spicy? Is it because, Ben, you don't eat the spicy one?
I don't recall the spicy part.
So he'll have a little reminder. He'll be thinking of me when it passes through him.
Well, I'll be thinking of you regardless. Just give me the original.
Wait, Ben, do you not like the spicy chicken sandwich from Popeyes?
I call it Montestuma's Revenge.
Wow. I can't do spice. I can't.
You're going to do this one.
Wait, I thought you liked going to, didn't we all go to Howlin' Ray's together?
Yeah, but he gets the baby one.
Yeah.
Isn't that on the same level as the Popeyes chicken sandwich spicy? It's not even that.
Wait, what?
Like,
yeah, David, are you high?
It's
what
not
the
that.
What are you talking about?
What?
Oh yeah, okay. No, I want to see it. No, okay. David has said that the Howlin' Ray's spicy is not that spicy. It's the same as Popeyes.
Shit.
Is it not? I'm asking.
You're on.
Last time I haven't been on.
You are being recorded right now.
I understand that.
I had medium at Howlin' Ray's, and
I know was really hot.
I was gonna die. Like,
wait. So what's on that scale over there? Do they have a non-spicy one? I thought you were mentioning.
They call like the non-spicy one country, I believe.
Yeah, country cooked.
Oh, so you're not talking about that one? You're talking about the one above that?
I mean, there's like 4 or 5 other spice levels.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me look it up.
And I think I was like, oh, how bad could medium be? This sounds pretty tame, and I thought I was gonna die, unless they were just like having such a good time, like chatting me up while I was ordering. He's just like he's just shaking that little shaker that has all the spicy stuff in it, and he's just like, yeah, hey, what are you guys up to today? I'm like, that's medium.
Wait, so it says a brush of heat. That's doesn't sound right if it's that spicy.
For
Okay, then
medium?
get it, David. Then get it.
Yeah, get it, tough guy.
No, I got it last time, and I thought that was really bad. I just thought that that's what you were that's what you were saying. It's like, oh,
Just
the
get it, David.
lowest
How
one.
bad can it be?
Dude,
I mean,
trust me, I don't handle
Popeye's-
spicy very good.
Popeye's spicy is like in between Howlin' Ray's country and whatever the next level is.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
would
I
say
was.
that.
Okay, that's what I was.
It's
trying
very
to say.
tame, but apparently that's
Oh,
still
okay.
too much for Ben.
I thought there was
It is.
another level, but I didn't realize they went from 0 to 80 miles an hour right away. And they're like, "Yep, there's nothing in between."
Nope.
Okay. Okay. So I retract my statement, Ben. But
Damn.
yeah. But if that one's in between, then why would you say no to the spicy version of Popeyes?
Because why would I say yes to it when I
'Cause
could
he's a
just get
weenie.
good old regular?
The
I don't
spice
think you
is
get
nice
a choice
though.
here. Yeah.
Eh.
It makes
And
you
if it-
want to keep going, but I guess for Ben, since his appetite for chicken's insatiable, he just doesn't matter. You just
Mhm.
keep eating it regardless.
Yep.
Okay. Ben, what weird movie did you watch this week outside of Multiverse of Madness?
Doctor Strange 1.
That's not a weird movie.
Or is it? No, it's not. It's a very, very
It's a
straightforward
strange movie.
Oh.
All right, I think we're gonna have to wrap the podcast.
movie.
This will be the shortest one. Okay. So, anything else besides that?
Not really, no.
Is that
It's
just to
that
get ready
and-
for this one?
Yeah, I mean, Doctor Strange 1 and yeah, just more Better Call Saul.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't the movie for this week the precursor to this one is Endgame, isn't it? Like that's a direct. It's
No,
not like
it'd
it
be
follows
Spider-Man.
Strange one and well, yeah. From does it happen at the same time or right after?
What?
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Happens at the same time as what?
Spider-Man No Way Home.
No, it happens like after it.
Oh.
You fool.
I think they even made a reference to it.
Which reference?
Well, I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah, are you trying
Did
to
they-
spoilers?
They said right after this other movie, this is what's happening now. All right.
Kind of.
Okay, I'll have to ask later. Maybe I missed it when I was paying attention to something else. All right. Let's go over to our box office rundown. At no surprise, number one in the box office, The Bad Guys.
Woo!
Just kidding. No, it's number one is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness
Oh, woo.
with $187 million first week. Number two, The Bad Guys with 9.5. Number three, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hang on,
2.
time out. What is this? What is this thing with Ben and the bad guys?
I really have no idea. No, he's wooing everything.
No, but he well, is it- that's just the sound he makes every so often.
Woo!
Just uncontrollable. Okay.
Woo!
I'm pretty sure it's also random. It's not every single thing. But all right, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, 4.2 million. Number five, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Woo!
Number six, The Northman. Number seven, The Lost City. Number eight, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Number nine, Memory. Number 10, Father Stew.
Woo!
Falling out of the top 10 finally is Morbius with 630,000. And not in the
Boo.
top 30 is Spider-Man No Way Home is not in here anymore. After how many weeks was that? It felt like forever.
Damn.
It's like they pulled it just so I'd have to get you guys chicken sandwiches.
Well, it happens. So this is dwarfed by the massive opening weekend for Spider-Man No Way Home with $260 million. But yet another reason why we never get any other big movies outside of Marvel comic films at this point. But yeah, comments, questions, concerns.
I mean, I guess
As
Spider-Man
expected.
it was technically like Sony though, right?
It's half and half.
Right.
It's this weird co-op
Right.
between the two.
So it's
So
not
that
like-
means Multiverse of Madness actually outperforms Spider-Man if you cut it in half.
Wow.
I don't think that's how it works, but
Well, if you only get half the money, you can't claim all of it.
I think you're supposed to cut the other one in half then.
In quarters?
No, forget it.
Okay. Any thoughts on this one?
As
it's not-
expected.
Yeah.
How
What's the
predictable?
so? I think this is considered the start of summer, correct?
I don't know. Is it?
Kind of. I
Like
think
the
this
actual season or the summer movie season.
like summer movies.
Is there a groundhog equivalent of this?
Doctor Strange. No, it literally just says so underneath each one of these. Sometimes it'll say it's like, oh, this is Easter weekend. There's a reason why we add an extra day or something like that, or Labor Day or something like that. And so for this one, it says May 6th through 8th is summer to date. Apparently, is what they're considering. So this is the beginning of the summer releases. What's the next like big movie that we have coming out this year?
Top Gun.
Yeah, probably Top
How-
Gun.
How did Top Gun 2 do?
What do you mean?
That's the
How
one
did
that's
do?
coming out.
Yeah.
There is no Top Gun 2. This is Top Gun 2 coming out.
What?
Are you thinking of Hot Shots?
Yeah, what are you
It's right here.
Why?
TopGun2.cn.
Oh, sorry.
Wow.
Oh, it's with it's like Chinese Tom Cruise and
Yeah, he defects to China.
Defects? No. He
brings
defends China.
Defects and defends.
Wait, that was Matt Damon in The Great Wall.
And
Remember
Pedro
that?
Pascal.
Remember that being a thing?
I've
Yeah.
never seen that movie, but
just
I
know
figured,
Matt Damon is in China and there's monsters.
and he speaks perfect Chinese. He
No,
could
everyone
have
speaks
taught.
perfect English.
Okay. All right. No thoughts, I guess, huh?
I mean,
Was there ever on this podcast?
Yeah.
No, not really. Nothing new or novel. All right. That's it. All right. Let's move over to our movie of the week this week. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I don't think we need to do a synopsis. If you don't know what this movie is, you're on the wrong podcast.
I
Right.
had a synopsis, but I couldn't do it because it required copyrighted music. So I'm not even going to attempt it.
you acapella it, or
I don't think it really
did
goes
it have
well
something to
without
do?
it.
Did it have anything to do like this, like?
No, it didn't.
Oh.
No, it did
What?
not have anything to do with
Stu,
that.
I would have put a chicken sandwich on that.
No, well, okay, now you owe me 2 chicken sandwiches.
Wait,
No.
that was my chicken sandwich.
Right.
He's talking to me, not you. Stop.
Yeah, all right, 2 chicken sandwiches this way.
Wait, what? How are they multiplying?
Ben
Okay,
is just
what
the
was?
chicken sandwich vacuum. It just inhales them all.
It's the chicken sandwich economy. Just got to keep the sandwiches moving.
Yeah, moving this direction.
They never come back.
Into my face.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Ben, what was the copyrighted music?
Oh, the musical Dr. Zaius.
Oh.
Is that copyrighted?
Well, I would imagine so. It's a banger if it's not.
From The
Dr.
Simpsons?
Zaius, Dr.
Yeah.
Dr.
I
Zaius,
mean,
Dr.
if
Zaius.
if I don't have the synthesizer to go with it, I can't do it.
Oh, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. All right. All right, Ben, now do your synopsis thing.
No, there's no synth. I'm not going to criminalize this, all right? I'm not going to commit a war crime over here, David.
Ben is a
Don't worry,
perfectionist.
Chinese Tom Cruise will bail you out.
I wish I
You'd be
could.
my wingman anytime.
Yeah. I wish I could do the Chinese accent because I would have quoted the movie in it.
So you could do half an accent.
I'd do something, but it would be like more Korean. It would be like, Maveriku!
All right. So,
Doctor Strange is back, and I'm doing another thing because apparently David doesn't want to do anything. For
Yeah,
this,
David.
Shut
and
up.
And Ben is a perfectionist, so I'm gonna just talk about the synopsis of the movie: Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Here we go. It's Doctor Strange. He's back, and in his multiverse now. In case you haven't been paying attention to the other movies. And he's back. He's got to save the day again with his old friend Wong, and there's a new girl who has a very distracting name that we'll talk about later. It makes for very funny, like inadvertently funny lines throughout the movie. But anyways, he's back, and oh no, Scarlet Witch wants to take a special power to threaten the whole multiverse, and Doctor Strange has to stop her.
Excellent. Thank you, Stu. All right, Ben, thoughts on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness?
Well, like last week, I have had high expectations for this movie because of the director. Sam Raimi, we've talked about him before on the podcast, I think, when we were doing, what was that movie?
Drag Me to Hell.
Drag Me to Hell, yeah. I mentioned specifically that no one else can really do what he does. He always crafts a film that walks this very fine, razor thin line of this is fucking stupid to this is fucking amazing. You know, it's that little wiggle room in between. And in this tiny pocket is where his unique blend of horror and humor really shines. Now, I was a little scared because, you know, it's Marvel. You know, they have a mold to fill, and historically, I don't think movies have really deviated from that formula, right? Um, I don't think this movie concedes on it being a Sam Raimi film, and I don't think it skips out on anything MCU related either. If anything, I think the fact that this film is a Marvel movie allowed it really to take its strength and its unique take on the genre. There were so many fucking times during the movie where I actually whispered over to my friend, like, fuck, that's so metal, you know? Like, and the fact that I got to say consistently throughout the movie, like from beginning to end, was fucking awesome. The beginning for me was a bit of a slosh. I'm not gonna lie. I think, you know, not to go in too much into spoilers, but one of the things that you complain about a lot, Stu, with like really bad green screens, I think this movie was kind of a victim of it at the beginning. Um, and there was a bit of like the stitches showing from the reshoots throughout the movie, but other than that, I think this might be one of my favorite Marvel movies, you know, ever. So a rock solid, about to cream 9 out of 10.
Speaking of reshoots, how many did they have to go through, and what was the reason why they went to that? Did they ever
Did
divulge
not
that
they did not tell why they had to do reshoots, but you could definitely tell, like,
when they did
oh
them?
yeah, it was like, oh, what was that? You know. I'll get into that later in the spoiler zone.
What about you, Stu?
Yeah, I think it's funny that Ben mentioned the thing about the green screen thing, because I was when I was watching the first part of the movie, I was like, I was sitting there like, is this just me?
Yeah, no, it
Or
wasn't.
No.
and I was like, no, it has to be me because this is a Marvel movie. Like, come on, this is, we're not talking, some junior high AV production with a green curtain in the background. Come on, this is top shelf stuff. But
Well,
yeah,
you might be happy to know that starting next movie with Thor, I think they're starting to implement some new technology for that green screen stuff that they
yeah,
use in like Mandalorian
yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah, they should that should become standard.
It is now
Um,
the volume,
yes.
or that's what it's called. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I definitely, I definitely liked the movie. I liked everything basically that was Sam Raimi about it. I think there were definitely the there was a kind of like a good combination of like the horror element from Sam Raimi with the kind of the I don't want to say cookie cutter, but it is kind of cookie cutter Marvel formula.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a good kind of a good combination of that. Although I was personally hoping for more of a Sam Raimi element to it. Um, but I won't let that detract from the movie itself. I think this all I could think about too throughout the movie, and this would go into spoilers, but was how all I could think about was WandaVision and how much I
Mm.
didn't like that show, or at least how that show concluded, and it was just annoying me as far as like the story that was being told. But again, at the same time, while I have my gripes with that, I don't want to let that take away from the overall movie, with all the visuals and everything, and the ideas they're touching on. So, but I give this one an 8 out of 10.
Okay. For me, I'm right actually in between the two of you. I'm at an 8.5.
Wow,
Only because
what a
I wanted
what a stance to take, David.
He's so brave.
split the difference. Actually, I kind of feel like that a lot of things that you guys both had already mentioned, they're this movie's obviously trying to bridge to something else. And of course, Sam Raimi is not allowed to take as many artistic
Liberties.
liberties. Yeah, thank you. With the franchise because it's already been kind of written for him, right? You have to get from point A to point B. But I felt like some of the stuff you could tell. The reason why I didn't give it a higher score is you could clearly see when Sam Raimi got a chance to do his thing, and then when they said, okay, this is where you have to go from this point to this point. You can do some stuff in between, but these are important plot points, and you have to shoot them a certain way, right? Because of the fact that it's shot in that very Marvel. I mean, Stu, you say cookie cutter, but I think it's like almost like this
Worse than
identity.
that.
No, it's not cookie cutter. It's more like an identity, right? You can tell a Marvel film just by the kind of the way that they shoot it, right? And it's kind of like boxing Sam Raimi into this little box, and saying you have to do this if you want to. And this isn't his first comic franchise, right? He did all the Spider-Man movies.
You want to get paid, don't you, sweetheart?
So I mean, he has experience with it, but I feel like what they kind of held him back. But the moments I think you could split the movie in two, right down the middle. Right, the first half is 100% Marvel. If you didn't tell me it was a Sam Raimi film, I would have probably never guessed. The second half, I feel like that has his fingerprints all over it, but I feel like sometimes it was a little bit too late to be able to let him kind of put his spin or put his flavor on it, and that's the part that was disappointing for me. So I know it was ambitious going into it. Like Ben, you had pretty high hopes. I was expecting more horror film than Marvel film, and it didn't deliver that. And then I was like thinking, okay, if I went into it thinking Marvel film and getting a little bit of horror, I probably would have been a little bit more excited, or I probably would have been felt a little bit more satisfied. But because of the fact that it was this buildup, it's like, oh, this is really progressive. We're doing something really out of the box. This, what is it? Phase 4 that we're in. Phase 4 is supposed to be all this like new crazy stuff that we're doing, right? We're letting letting everybody kind of make their own spin and tell their own stories and make it interesting. And I was just like, it's kind of the same, but you just kind of gave it a small little kick, and I almost barely noticed it, except towards the end. And by the time the movie wrapped, I was like, if you didn't have some of those things in there, I would have never noticed, or I probably wouldn't have really cared at the end. So that's why 8.5. All right, we'll move over to the spoiler zone because it sounds like there's some questions I want to be able to ask Ben, and Ben might be able to enlighten us in the multiverse. Stu or Ben, any other thoughts before we move on?
No, because I think anything else that
It's going to be spoiler.
Going to be spoilery.
I do have one question: is knowing that this kind of experiment did okay, it wasn't like a runaway success in terms of ratings. Obviously, from a dollars perspective, this absolutely is going to crush, and they will make more Marvel films. Big surprise, but knowing the kind of reception that I got, Ben, do you think that they're going to explore other genre directors again?
I
I mean,
think
something a little
so.
bit more adventurous, somebody who hasn't even touched a comic film in the first place.
I would think so. Yeah, I think they have to at this point. Like the whole idea of this whole phase 4, from my perspective, is that it's half and half. It's half like the safe route, which is to continue status quo and keep pumping out like those formulaic Marvel movies like that you've been kind of saying, like, you know, it has that that fingerprint, that just standard way of approaching a Marvel film. On the other side, they're trying to take bigger swings and trying to get out of the box that they're in and trying something new, because I mean, let's face it, nothing, you know, lasts forever. They have to evolve or they're going to die. So they have to find something. They have to be willing to take a chance on, you know, more ambitious, different directions. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to go the way of the Western. It's just going to die.
What about you, Stu?
I'm sorry, I thought that was for Ben.
No, I was just okay. Well,
Yeah,
I guess I'll ask a better follow-up question. Is there a genre, or is there like a director that you would like to see them kind of?
It's
give
hard
that
for
a
me to say
shot?
because I don't watch movies or look at movies through like the
Director's eyes.
at who the director
okay.
is.
So what if I was to say, okay, if they were to do a Marvel film based off of, you know, Marvel storyline based off like a film that you would like, it was like, oh, I want it in this style, that'd be kind of cool. What would you like to see them if they're doing experimental?
Well, I'd probably
genres?
I don't know if I'd necessarily have a necessarily a particular style I'd like to see, but I think I would like to see something like, for example, if we take this movie, I think this would have been way cooler if they went for an R rating.
Yeah, I wish they did.
Like if they went for so like I would say like if I would like to see a rated R Marvel movie or
Okay.
MCU movie, I guess I should say, because I think there have been technically Marvel based character movies. Like I think Punisher was rated R.
Well, I think this is them dipping their toes and trying to see what they can get away with, because I think it's fair to say that it definitely went beyond my expectations for what a PG-13 Marvel film would get away with.
Yeah, definitely had some implications of
yeah, or
was
more
the
than
implication.
What about you, Ben? Any styles or maybe directors you would like to see them kind of reach out to and get some experience with?
I mean, if they're really going this way with like taking on genre or like, you know, very specific directors with a very specific style, it would be nice to see them reach out back to Edgar Wright, because he got shafted pretty hard the first time, and I want to see him back, you know, making movies for Marvel.
Do you think?
What did he get shafted from?
Ant-Man.
Oh, okay.
He originally was directing Ant-Man, and actually a lot of the more popular scenes in that movie were from him. It's just that they gutted him like towards the end of production, which is kind of sad.
I see.
Do you think there's ever a chance we'd see a Tarantino
Okay.
Marvel film?
Yeah, just like an Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah. I think at that point it'd be like Marvel would be the shark jumping phase of Marvel.
So do you think that going experimental will mean that we'll have less star power or more star power going forward?
I think it's more star powered. The whole idea of the Marvel machine is that it's so successful now that any actor would probably want to just slap their name on it just for like an easy paycheck.
Yeah, like Jared Leto.
Yeah, or like for this movie specifically, like you could show up for like 5 minutes and get paid $1 million, you know? And I'll get into who I'm talking about later on.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean that was also part of the
going on.
That was also part of the reason why I was a little bit disappointed, because they didn't flesh out some of the stuff. But one last thing before we move on, want to ask you. You guys had heard that there was rumors that Keanu Reeves is being considered for a Marvel role.
Yeah.
Any kind of leans towards that? I don't know, Stu, if you
my knowledge of Marvel heroes outside of who have already of the mainstream
been out, right,
is very little.
I heard it's John Wick.
John Wick is a crossover Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
But Ben, have you heard who he might be reprising?
No idea at this point.
Okay. All right.
He's going to be Batman in the upcoming
that's right.
Super Pets.
Yeah,
which I'm actually kind of interested in.
Oh my god.
Is that the Kevin Hart
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, The
The
Rock,
Dwayne
Kevin
Rock,
Hart.
Kevin Hart.
I've seen so many commercials for it. It's kind of hard not to be like, all right, I'll if this went straight to Netflix.
I think I only
or if
saw
it's
it
on Paramount.
in this
The theater,
preview.
right?
That's
Right.
the only time I've seen it.
I've seen it for the last 3 movies that we went to go see.
Well, I also show
this
up
one,
like
The Northman,
with
and
the exception of this one, I show up to movies like 20-30 minutes after the start time. So
because you want to avoid all the
because I
all
don't want
the
to watch 30
previews.
mined of trailers every time. The movies
Dude,
I've
you're
already
lucky
trailers
it's
I've already-
only 30 minutes. The last time I went to a movie, I think it was I think it was in the morning on Saturday. I went the first showing, and I guess the theater forgot that there was supposed to be a movie starting, and they started the previews 15 minutes after the start time of the movie.
So you
And
just
then
had to
we-
watch Maria
we-
Menounos and
Right. We sat there for 15 minutes, and then they went through the entire previews, and that took I was like, we've been sitting here for 45 minutes. Just go straight to the movie. Everybody who wants to see it is already here. I was like, whatever.
although I do have
Right.
a new reason for showing up earlier now, and it's so that I can order my chicken strips,
Oh my god, your tendies.
my tendies.
Wait,
Uh,
can you
wait.
actually order that online or something like earlier? Or
Yeah,
no?
I'm not. I don't know.
My
at
Cinemark
Regal.
lets me do that. If
I
you
think they
order it
do,
ahead of
they
time,
might.
they'll deliver it to your seat too.
Oh,
For
no,
Cinemark.
they won't. I don't think they do delivery to the
Wow.
seat at my theater.
Can you Postmates it?
Yeah, I think tonight for dinner I'm gonna have Regal chicken strips.
You know, I actually during the pandemic I would see
Regal.
consistently ads from like my local Regal, like, "Hey, come pick up your popcorn from
Oh, yeah,
Regal."
please.
Yeah, it's just like, oh man, this is so sad to see. You know, it's just like they're
Oh, yeah.
really pushing for people to get concessions.
Yeah, as you're ordering like your 2 large popcorns and you're like, oh man, this is real sad, Edwards.
Yeah.
They don't
Add
do
to
the.
cart.
And actually, it's
refills anymore.
one, but it comes as two because I got the refill.
Oh, okay.
Dumbass. Fucking
They let you do refills. Shoot,
yeah,
dude. They tell us right now that they're not doing refills still.
At Cinemark?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, lame.
Well, the
Dumb.
one
Who goes
by
to
me, I don't know if
Cinemark?
it's the
Look
closest
at this
one
guy.
to me. Shut up.
Oh, look at this guy. Oh, I
You
only
get
have a
20% off
Cinemark.
concessions. Okay, actually, do you guys have kettle corn at the theaters
Yep.
you guys go to?
They only have like the prepackaged ones, like the
Oh.
Monopolis or whatever.
I did not even know that they offered that. And he goes, "Would you like regular or kettle?" I was like, clearly kettle." And then I see him go over to
Wait,
this
whoa,
other.
hang on. What do you mean clearly kettle?
Well, because I normally get regular popcorn, and so this time I wanted something different. So, and I learned my lesson. I will never do that ever again, because the popcorn machine that they use for kettle corn looked like nobody used it ever, and the kettle corn had already been popped, and it'd been, you know how like it has like that has sugar on it,
Mhm.
and so after a while, once it cools, it starts sticking together. So he starts just like scraping. I was like, oh my god,
Wow.
this was a horrible choice. Never again, unless it's like fresh or whatever. So
Yeah, that's why it's always pre-packaged, David.
well, if it's Popcornopolis, it's a different story. Okay.
They got special chemicals that keep it from sticking to each other.
Yeah. All right. Spoiler zone. All right.
God, 10 minutes later.
Sorry.
No.
I had questions.
so much to say. I'm David.
That's what he sounds like.
My God. All right. All right, Stu, you can ask Ben your question or whatever.
Wait, what?
Do I have a
I
question?
don't know.
You had a question?
Uh,
Yeah, see you, Stu, in the back.
Yes. What? How do you feel about the allegations that you are
Next question. Thank you. Thank you.
Objection. You can't object to your own question.
I guess I'll ask this on behalf of David then. What were
Mm-hmm.
the potential reshoots or what was that the question? I don't
The
remember.
reasoning for the reshoots.
Oh,
Yeah.
I still don't know the reason, but I know like there were scenes where you could tell like, oh, this is reshot for
What
sure.
was one of the scenes? Because I wasn't really paying that close attention.
It was really jarring. Like once it's definitely like you can miss it, but if you notice it right away, then like throughout the whole movie, you're like, oh, okay. It was Benedict Wong's hair. Like throughout the whole movie, he was either like he had like a buzz cut almost, or he had long hair.
Oh,
I
You
was
know
just
what?
like, wait.
now that you say that, I did notice that, but I thought like his hair just got like poofed out when he
Yeah,
fell.
that's what I thought. I was like, oh, maybe it's just like a weird angle or something. But it's just like, no, he definitely has a buzz cut, and now he has a comb over. Like, what is this? And people have been pointing it out on Twitter and stuff, and it's just like, oh, okay.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it, essentially.
Yeah, so I don't know why that was part of the reshoots, but yeah, it definitely showed.
I was very, very happy I was able to avoid all spoilers, but now I'm sad that I missed that. I wish I had seen that.
I thought I did get spoiled in the same way that I got spoiled on Star Wars, where I'm just scrolling through something completely unrelated, and it's just like, this is one of those like Instagram posts or YouTube posts where it just shows like a picture with text.
Yeah.
And it was like something Christian Bale is the best Marvel villain. I'm like, what I'm like, what, Christian Bale's in this movie?
No, he's in the next one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, God damn it. But luckily that was not the spoiler. So
yeah, I actually did get spoiled on the John Krasinski thing.
Oh, really?
I did, and I was pretty mad about it. But going into the movie, I was like, okay, whatever, John Krasinski. I'm happy that even though I got spoiled on it, that wasn't like the big takeaway from his scene,
Right.
It was the fact that he got turned into fucking ribbons and he just got it bopped, that I was pretty happy about that. I think it was like a really good subversion of expectation there, that you get all these cameos, in a very Marvel fashion, but it's just like, nah, it's just like they're fucked.
I was a little disappointed that he just gets like turned to shreds in like
he literally gets 4 minutes of screen time, and then that's it.
But then Scarlet Witch goes into hand-to-hand combat with, well, I don't know, she's not called Captain America, is she?
Captain Carter.
Captain Carter. Yeah, she just does like a hand-to-hand combat with Captain Carter. I'm like, what? You literally just shredded and exploded John Krasinski, or whatever his name, Fantastic Four guy, Doctor, whatever his name is, and now you're gonna do hand-to-hand combat.
I was okay with that because we got the cool cut in half scene. So
that's kind of goes back to the other thing too, though. It's like, oh, I wish this was rated R.
Yeah, I know. They definitely cut away from like her falling apart in half, which I was like, oh, come on,
that would have pushed it to a R.
Dude, I'm surprised they didn't get an R rating from Black Bolt. Like,
that was crazy.
Exploding.
I really like that one.
That was my favorite one.
I know. I was definitely not expecting that. So like when I feel like David, you said that you kind of had higher hopes for this being a more horror centric Marvel film. Like me going into this, I had my reservations because it's a Marvel movie, right?
Yeah.
Like there's definitely going to be concessions and everything. I'm like, there's not a lot they can get away with horror wise, I'll just enjoy it for the jump scares and everything. But the fact that, as soon as his mouth disappeared, I'm like, oh my fucking God, are they going to do it? And he starts screaming. I'm like, oh my God. And then, his head caving in was just like,
That was the part that, like, to me, I saw it, like, literally, I felt that moment, Sam Raimi all over it. And that's the reason why you could kind of split up like the parts that that he was like, I'm putting my foot down. This wouldn't be a Sam Raimi, joint if I don't do this.
His brains explode or I walk.
Yeah, exactly. But then they're like, all right, but then we're gonna neuter the rest of the film to kind of go around that. And it was just like, I really wish they had kind of leaned more into it. And they would have probably gotten a lot more out of it.
There's not to say that, I don't think that's to say there weren't a lot of other kind of Sam Raimi-esque scenes. Like I really liked Zombie Doctor Strange.
Oh my God, I think that was like the pinnacle of it. I think like even the quote unquote possession scene where he's starting to dreamwalk into Zombie Strange, like where Christine has to defend Strange from
fight off the demons.
That
and then he absorbs them and all that kind of stuff.
Like that whole sequence was very, very like, oh my God, this is a Sam Raimi, because it's like, final girl slasher horror, her like a defenseless girl fighting off demons and shit, and saying like really funny lines like see you in hell. Boom, it's just like, oh my God, that whole scene. And oh my god, him like turning all the spirits into a fucking cape. Oh my god, like I was
Yeah.
so hard during that. Like, oh, I can't get over that final sequence. It was so fucking good.
Does this mean that we're not going to get John Krasinski as Reed Richards?
I don't know.
I actually looked that up, and I see in IMDb there is actually in the Fantastic Four, whatever. Because again, this is multiverse, so he died in that multiverse that way.
Mhm.
So that doesn't mean he's not going to be, in the I guess the. I also was kind of laughing in the movie when they're numbering their universes. Like, what is this, Rick and Morty? Like, what's come on?
Yeah.
838.
Yeah.
I watched this movie with Bowie, and he actually yelled out when they said 616. I don't know what that means at all, but he was going hype over that. I guess I mean something in comic book terms, but I was like, what are you doing, man?
Shut up, Bowie. You're being a nerd.
No. Oh, this is the peak of it, though. Okay, so the mid-credit scene. Okay, when Charlize Theron shows up as whoever the fuck she was, right?
I thought I was like, who is this, Sindel? What are we, Mortal Kombat now?
No. Okay, so did you guys get any reaction out of your theaters about that scene?
No.
Every half of it went, who the hell is that?
Yeah. I think that was the only reaction that was audible, I think, for me.
She's the daughter of Dormammu, right?
Yeah. So when she showed up on screen without her saying anything, Bowie got up out of his chair and yelled, "Yo," so fucking loud. Not only that, I went Thursday night, like premiere night, IMAX, fully booked. No one else made a fucking sound. And everyone just stared at him.
I think it was probably one of those, like, dude, act like you've been here before. By the way, 616 refers to Earth 616, the fictional universe
Wow,
in which
who would have
Marvel
thought?
comics are set. No, as in like the same one that we've been watching is 616. That's where that comes from.
It's actually C-137.
A quick, come on, Rick. Come on, 20-minute adventure.
Come on, America. We gotta...
We should have them do interdimensional television.
MCU interdimensional cable.
So, what was your favorite character that was the new character that was introduced in this multiverse, David?
It's hard to not say Reed Richards. What do you mean new?
I liked when he looked at the camera after.
I just gave that look when he's being torn to shreds.
Yeah, he's
the gym face.
Yeah.
I really like the fact that they kind of let Benedict Wong kind of just like run with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's now showing up in what, 4 films?
Yep.
Wait,
he is the Sorcerer Supreme,
Well, and not until the very, very end he isn't, right? Because he doesn't get the respect that he deserves from
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Who cares? He's the Sorcerer Supreme.
I think that's one of the charming things about their relationship is that even though like technically, well, not technically, but Doctor Strange was Sorcerer Supreme, and then he got blipped.
Yep.
And then Benedict Wong Wong. I guess he's the same name.
Wong.
He becomes it, but then they kind of have this kind of they kind of take the piss out of each other a little bit, even though they're not really equals as far as their titles. They're kind of equals otherwise. So so they just
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
The I want to see what the current universe's equivalent of Pizza Papa is. I'm very curious. I want to see what powerful super mutant he is, because Pizza Papa always gets paid.
Everybody was so everybody who stayed for the second one was like, what does that have to do with anything? And I was like,
oh god, you're fucking zoomers, get out of here.
I know. I was like, seriously?
My theater actually gave out a pretty good laugh about that.
I gave out a good laugh the moment he showed up on screen.
Yeah, I know. It's over. It was great.
As soon as I saw Bruce Campbell, I was like, oh my god, yes. But yeah, I think though, as far as the horror elements go, I think one of my favorite kind of sequences is kind of like two separate ones, but they were kind of back to back. Was when Professor X gets his neck snapped.
Oh
Uh,
my god, that was
e-
great.
Even though it was just like a split second frame, because like it was probably too scary for
Mm-hmm.
Marvel stuff, but I thought that was very, very cool, very scary looking.
Yeah, I think the build up to it was really good too,
Yeah.
because you didn't really know what to focus on. It's like, all right, Wanda's down there. Wanda,
Mhm.
there's also red smoke behind him. You know, it's like all around him. Like, what's
Right.
gonna happen?
Also, just, also just the fact that when he rolls into the,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
hears it.
No.
That's, that's pretty.
Charles, no, Charles.
That's pretty funny, um, but also like kind of shortly after that happens, when the Wanda's chasing them through the water tunnel thing.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
my
I
god.
thought that had a very good feeling of kind of like horror and dread.
Yeah, I think Elizabeth Olsen did an amazing job, like being the villain in this movie. Like she was terrifying and a little empathetical too. Like when because you know we have like her and her other multiverse self, right? And I think she acted the hell out of it. You know, I really hope that she comes back in some sort of capacity because I think it'd be a waste to kind of just offer like this.
I
And
hope if
just be
she
like, oh,
does come
that's it.
back, that her arc isn't so ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I was going back to about WandaVision, where it's like I don't know what was going on, but it's like, oh man, she's really the hero, and like no, she's not. She's the villain here.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that was the point of the show, right? That she is the
Well, no,
villain.
but like there were other characters in the story that were like hyping her up as if she was like, oh my god, she's gone through so much. She's such a hero.
Huh.
But
Okay. Yeah. I guess like when I viewed that and with them kind of trying to defend her, I still viewed in the lens that yeah, these people are trying to defend her still, but the whole story still makes her out to be quite the
yeah,
villain.
that's why it was so annoying. Like, no, shut up. She's clearly the villain. Like,
Mhm.
and that was I think in this movie it made more sense the way she was acting, because while she was still kind of doing the same thing as she was in the show, she was very clearly being portrayed as the villain. Like there was
Yeah.
no one saying that she trying to like second guess that except for herself.
And yeah, she killed a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, it's like
you
you
know?
just killed what almost could be like kids.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, man, you just massacred them. You turned one of them into ash. You
Yeah.
know, it's just like, oh my god.
At least the bull one survived. I want to
Yeah.
see more from Bull Guy.
Yeah, one of the things I didn't, I kind of docked the movie on was the fact that I think we got a really good character out of America Chavez. If that's her name, right? Yeah, America Chavez. You know, I think her character is kind of
America's in
cool.
danger.
Hey, what? You know, America needs our help. All right,
Yeah.
that's why we have to go
You
to the front
can't
line.
take America's power. That's the thing I was too distracted by. I was like, really, guys, you could give her a different name.
I couldn't stop laughing every time they said America's and then plug in whatever was happening. I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
America, and then just fill in the blank.
and they missed one. Is beautiful. Like they should have just But
What?
all right,
You
I
don't think
finished that.
America's beautiful, David?
No,
Wow.
I'm saying is like
Wow.
Why
I
don't you
didn't
just get
fight
out
in
then, David?
Vietnam for punk ass bitches like you to
you
take.
did
We're gonna
not
talk about
fight in
numbers.
Vietnam.
I
Ben.
said I didn't fight in Vietnam.
Yeah, exactly.
America did.
I didn't fight in Vietnam to be treated like this. You didn't fight in Vietnam. Yeah, that's what I said.
All right, Ben, finish your thought.
That was my thought. You're a bitch
was-
that hates America.
I was just too distracted every time. I was like, just why did you name her this?
Hey, she punches stars. All right, that's pretty badass.
Stars and Stripe Cola.
Yeah.
I
And
just
she-
like I was just too distracted by all the America references.
Mhm.
I just couldn't get over. I couldn't get past it.
Well, hopefully they spend a little more time on her next time, because I did enjoy the scenes with her. I think she was, very witty and hopefully a strong character in the future. Hopefully.
All right. Any other thoughts before we wrap this one up, guys?
I hope they make another Sam Raimi Marvel movie, and this time a hard R.
Which
I want Sam Raimi with a hard R.
Raimi.
Raimi.
Me. All right. So, all right. Guys, any other thoughts before we wrap this one up? No.
I feel like I had one other one.
All right. Well, while you're thinking of that, Ben, which Marvel franchise would you like Sam Raimi to tackle next?
Which Marvel franchise or Marvel character?
Like character, or maybe character arc, I guess.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Again?
If that means, okay, the dotted line is from Sam Raimi to J.K. Simmons. How do we get there?
How do we combine the two?
Why don't we just do a standalone Jonah Jameson movie?
Hey, now
There
there
you go.
is
Now
a
you're
$1
speaking
billion
my
or
language.
a $1 billion idea.
If that happens, you heard it here first, all right? What about you, Stu?
Is it the same question again?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to see a rated R. If they do make a MCU movie, like I always go back to the Punisher. So
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think it's safe to assume that the first rated R Marvel movie we're going to get is probably going to be Deadpool, right?
I thought it's like still Sony or whatever,
No,
or Fox or whatever.
Fox got absorbed by Disney, so
Right, but like, isn't it still a separate
Nope.
entity? Fox.
It's fair game now. That's why they got X-Men. That's why they were able to get Patrick Stewart. That's why they were able to get Fantastic Four. Actually, that's why I think this movie is pretty important, because they laid the groundwork that like, hey, like everything is fair game now. We could do
prequel. It's a meta preview.
Yeah, we could do Fantastic Four now. We could do X-Men. Yeah, so that's gonna be exciting. And I guess What If is fair game now.
Is
too.
Chris Evans gonna come back as
Yo, that'd be so fucking sick. Naked Chris Evans again?
Everyone's just looking at him like, you look familiar.
No, and he turns around and it's Channing Tatum, not Chris Evans.
Hey, I would be okay with that.
I knew Ben was pausing to think which one would
I mean, which Fantastic Four Human Torch would you prefer? Naked Chris Evans or naked Michael B. Jordan? Because it's pretty tough.
Yeah,
that's a toss up.
7 games.
Ooh.
Put them both on screen, call the Multiverse movie. We're done.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right. So join us next week as we cover in our movie of the week, Men. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're getting your podcasts at. We're available on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Google, and Apple Podcasts.
Did you say SoundCloud?
SoundCloud. I don't know. Also check us out on Twitch at twitch.tv/DoseNowCincos. As always, I'm your host, David.
I'm Stuart.
And I'm a happy man about to get his chicken sandwich.
What are you talking about? You already ate dinner.
Hey, what about secondsies?
Afternoon tea.
Are you a hobbit? All right, don't forget to tip your Reiki Master. Stay safe out there. We'll see you guys on the next one. Okay?
Bye.
Bye.